In this video we are going to look at 5 of the greatest prison escapes to ever be pulled off and succeed. In July of 2007, Pascal Payet escaped a French prison. He was able to make his escape possible because there was a hijacked helicopter waiting for him to fly him away to freedom. Payet knew exactly what he had to do to make his getaway a success because this was his 3rd time escaping from high-security prisons in France, each time via hijacked helicopter. He also helped organize the escape of 3 other prisoners, also with a helicopter. Payet was initially sentenced to a 30-year jail term for a murder committed while robbing a security van. After his first escape, in 2001, he was captured and given 7 more years in jail. He then escaped from Grasse prison using a helicopter that was hijacked by 4 of his friends from the nearby airport. The helicopter eventually landed at Brignoles, 24 miles northeast of Toulon, France, on the Mediterranean coast. Payet was recaptured on September 21, 2007, in Mataró, Spain, about 18 miles northeast of Barcelona. He had undergone cosmetic surgery, but was still identified by Spanish police. Alfred Alfie Heinz was an orphan who lived in a children's home. It was at the age of 7 that he escaped from the orphanage and went on to be a petty thief until his first arrest as a teen. Not only was Heinz a skilled thief from a very early age, he also happened to be an expert escape artist, as he was to prove over the years through his numerous prison escapes. In his most daring escape, Heinz sneaked through the locked doors and a 20-foot prison wall at Nottingham Prison. For this seemingly miraculous escape, he was dubbed Houdini Heinz. When he was captured 6 months later, he sued the authorities for illegal arrest, but he lost the lawsuit. The Great Escape is one of the most inspirational and incredible tales of a jailbreak. The secret operation was led and organized by Roger Bushell, a Royal Air Force pilot who had been shot down over France while assisting with the evacuation of Dunkirk. In the spring of 1943, Bushell and over 600 prisoners of war began building 3 tunnels. It was decided that they would dig 3 tunnels that, if successful, would see 250 men find their freedom. They gave each tunnel a code name they could use with each other. They named these tunnels Tom, Dick, and Harry. The prisoners worked together to dig 3 tunnels 30 feet below the surface. When the 3 tunnels were underway and already half of the way dug, a problem came about when about 100 Russian prisoners arrived at the camp and started chopping down trees on the south side to build another compound for the Americans. If the compound were built before the tunnel, Harry, was completed, it would mean that tunnel would be useless. The committee decided that it would be better if they concentrated on finishing Tom and put the others on hold. The trapdoors of Dick and Tom were sealed shut, and all manpower moved to concentrate on getting Tom finished before the Russians had cleared the site. All of their hard work finally paid off because on March 24, 1944, 76 men were able to escape the prisoner of war camp. Of the 76, only 3 managed to evade capture. The rest were killed or sent back to the prison. Alfred Wetzler was a Slovak Jew and one of only a few people who managed to escape from Auschwitz during the war. Wearing stolen suits and overcoats, Wetzler and his friend Rudolf Verba hid out in a woodpile for 4 nights until they were able to walk away from the camp uninterrupted. They walked for 80 miles using a map from a child's atlas that Verba had found in the camp. These men risked their lives and escaped Auschwitz, so they could warn other Jews and the world in precise detail what was happening behind the fences and gates of the Nazi concentration and extermination camp. Although they were not successful in their attempt to save Hungary's Jews from marching to their deaths at Auschwitz, Verba and Wetzler did succeed in saving some Jews as well as compiling and publicizing the first record of the Nazis' systematic atrocities at the camp. Thanks to his escape, a detailed report, known as the Verba-Wetzler Report of the horrors of Auschwitz reached the Allies. It was the first report of the atrocities being committed by the Nazi regime. May's prison was seen by many as Europe's most secure prison. The prison was opened in 1971 after the RUC and British Army had introduced Operation Demetrius in Northern Ireland. This saw the mass arrest and internment of 350 Irish people suspected of being involved with the IRA. Little did the authorities know, but the Irish that were arrested in Operation Demetrius had very little to no involvement with the IRA. The truth was that the main IRA suspects had been tipped off and managed to avoid arrests. Those who were arrested were held without trial in Nissen huts, which are Army-style barracks at a disused Royal Air Force airfield, which became the Long Kesh Detention Center. The huts were makeshift structures and not suitable for long-term detainment. The nationalist prisoners deeply resented the prison system and wanted to continue to undermine the authority of the British government, and began to plot. Prisoner and IRA member Larry Marley was selected to lead the escape. He had some experience with escapes and seemed to be the perfect choice for the job. In 1975, he and 9 other IRA men escaped from a courthouse in the town of Newry. He was recaptured in 1977. Then, in 1978, he nearly escaped Maze Prison while dressed as a prison warden, but was captured before reaching the prison perimeter. After this failed attempt, he then joined the blanket protests for the next 4 years. But he had not given up on escaping the maze. In September of 1983, the IRA successfully pulled off the largest prison escape in British and Irish history. Using smuggled guns, the prisoners took the guards hostage, stole their clothing, and forced a food delivery truck to drive them out of the prison. All 38 managed to escape this maximum security prison that was considered to be the most foolproof and secure prison in Europe. Alright, that is it for this video. Okay guys, don't forget to like and subscribe and tell me what you thought in the comments.